Shalom. Do Jews need to be perfected? Coulter, who is a very prominent conservative thinker and writer and radio and TV personality, recently on a talk show mentioned that Jews needed to be perfected. And this created a storm of outrage among Jews. So what does this really mean? Well, first of all, what does perfection mean? The Jews need to accept Jesus, she says, and that's based on a New Testament quote from their book of Hebrews, which talks about how the text reads, having been perfected once they accept Jesus. Now, to understand this more in depth, I suggest you watch a couple of other videos of mine. One is Jesus and the Jews, and then a three-part series, Jews Not for Jesus, 1, 2, and 3. The reason is because there I demonstrate why she's completely wrong, that Jews are perfectly fine without Jesus. We don't believe in Jesus as a Messiah or God. We think that that's simply an incorrect belief. People want to believe that, that's just fine. You might also want to watch my video on the 7 laws of Noah, where I show that basic Jewish belief is that non-Jews, as long as they behave themselves decently, can achieve salvation too. Now, there are many arguments lodged here. For example, the Anti-Defamation League immediately reacted by saying that what she said was a throwback to the centuries-old teaching of contempt for Jews and Judaism. And many of the mainstream denominations have long repudiated this notion of the Jews needed to be perfected, basically saying that Judaism is a valid path to God in their way too. As some people say, if you're in Chicago and you want to go downtown, you can either go on the expressway, you can take the outer drive, there's a lot of paths, and so mainstream Christianity is saying Judaism is valid. However, among many Christians, they believe the only path is through Jesus. It's usually not said as directly as she said it, but certainly that's a deeply held belief. Now, do Jews believe that in the end of time everyone will recognize that Judaism is correct? Well, there's lots of texts that suggest that at the end of Zechariah, in the end of days, we use this at the end of our Aleinu prayer, every prayer service we have. Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shmo echad. At the end of time, everyone will recognize that Adonai is the true and one God. And Maimonides suggests that at the end of time, all people will recognize the truth of Judaism. Okay, but in the meantime, we don't pray for the conversion of other people. If you want to convert to Judaism, great. Be happy to help you. We have a long-distance conversion program. We convert people here. Rabbis around the country convert people. You may meet with some resistance among the Orthodox, but in general, correct conversion is recognized. But you don't need to. We don't go out and say you should be Jewish the way that some evangelical Christians do. Now, there's an interesting argument made, too, that in fact, the enemies of the Jews don't care if we convert. They want to kill us. So the fact that these evangelicals want us to convert is a good sign. They like us. They love us. They want us to be what they are. That's a funny argument, but it's kind of true. Now, because of what she said and because of the view of Jews, of evangelicals, that they all want to do this, which is not true. They don't all want to do this. They don't want to all convert us, although many do. Many Jews shy away from evangelicals. The problem now is that the best friends of the state of Israel and the best friends of the Jews in many ways are these conservative Christians. In fact, John Hagee and people like that have started huge groups to support Israel. And among the liberal denominations that don't say things like this, they're trying to boycott Israel and all kinds of nefarious activities, supporting the people that throw bombs at Israel all the time, some of them, not all, of course. And so you have to be careful in analyzing what she said. It doesn't bother me if she thinks that I should be Christian. I think she should be Jewish. She doesn't need to be, but if she wants to be, it's a great religion. In fact, I think the original truth. But I'm okay with her saying what she said. I know that's what she believes. It doesn't bother me. I'm as strongly Jewish as can be, and I'm never going to think about another religion, because I believe that this is, for me, the best thing, and I think for the world it would be if everybody was Jewish. However, I support her support for the state of Israel and the Jewish people, and so I'm not hysterical about it. But I do wish that they would rethink this view, though they won't, because it does lead ultimately to anti-Semitism. Jews have been killed for thousands of years because of that idea that we're not good enough the way we are. And that is really the nuts and bolts of this thing. That idea has been repudiated by mainstream Christian groups to a large extent because they recognize ultimately it leads to the Holocaust. And they have to be very careful about saying that Jews need to be different, because it's that difference that has led to horrible anti-Semitism. Thank you.